What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Wednesday, people. Hope you're well. Should be a Champions League game tonight. I can't lie. What's all this Champions League Thursdays about, man? We've been through enough playing on Thursday nights against Bodo Glimt and all them teams there, and you got us playing Champions League football on a Thursday night. It's all mad, people. But you know UEFA, they want more money, more games. They got to spread it over the week. So it is what it is. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending where you are in the world. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. And listen, we'll get a good watch along tomorrow, hopefully. It might feel like a Europa League game. I hope not. You know, because you want the Champions League feeling. I just hope it has that. But listen, big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. And we'll briefly talk about yesterday's results. There was no shocks in the Champions League. Everybody that was kind of supposed to win, they won. And obviously, because we're in this league format, we kind of need the big teams to start losing games now. It will obviously balance itself out because they're going to play against each other because of the way that league is structured. But yeah, little shape up this morning, man. You know what? The barber has to be very careful now, man, because boy, the baby hairs is, you know, I'm hanging on to the baby hairs. I can't be looking like Snoop Dogg. Have you lot seen Snoop Dogg nowadays? Like, his dreads are like back here. I said, listen, man, I will never end up going to that level. If we have to, you know, we do something before it gets to that stage. So, yeah, little shape up still. We probably will do a boxing watch along, you know, on Saturday. Dubois, Joshua, Saturday night. Yeah, man, why not? I love the boxing. And I've done one. What did we do? Fury Usyk. That was the first one. Do you go strong tomorrow? I'd make a few changes, but I wouldn't go too weak because we're not equipped with a huge squad to be able to make too many changes. But I would make some. Big up Johnny, who said, yo, Big C, it's my birthday today, big 40. Big up, bro. They say 40 is the new 30, so, you know, you're as young as you feel kind of thing. So big up yourself, man. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. We got a lot to talk. Somebody just said Diddy. I mean, they got Diddy, bro. They got Diddy. And he didn't even get bail. So the judge literally said, no Diddy. Like, you ain't going nowhere. They came for him, man. They grabbed up the house, collected the evidence, and they just chilled. Everyone thought Diddy had got away with it. They found 100 bottles of baby oil in his house. I mean, I don't know what kind of greasy business is going on in that household, but people must just be sliding all over the... Man's got 100 bottles of baby lotion. What's going on? Has he got a company or something? I don't know, man. Diddy, I think you're in a whole heap of trouble, man. I'm telling you. 50 Cent's trolling him online. It was 1,000 bottles. I thought it was 100. 1,000 bottles. Some greasy parties, man. Yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't feel right even. Man used to say, take that, take that. Like, that brother's funny, man. It's disappointing, I can't lie. It's very disappointing. Because let's be honest, man, growing up, these guys were seen as, you know, icons, people that have come from the projects and made it big and millionaire, billionaire, whatever, and you're doing all kind. You sold your soul to get some weird people, man. But yo, Diddy, damn, you know what I mean? It's all mad still. It's all mad. Yo, some real slime ball, man. Man was just sliding all over the house. 1,000 bottles, you know. Nah. It's all mad. He might be in R. Kelly's cell. Although, the way Diddy's moving, he'd probably like to be in R. Kelly's cell. So, anyway, let me not say too much. Lady said you're off to Turkey if the baby hair acts up. Bro, if the baby hair acts up, something will have to go on still. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hanging on. You have to stay... What I've realised, you have to keep the stress levels at a minimum. Drink your water. Get some natural, like, cocoa butter or something. None of that grease that Diddy's dealing with. And just try and stay calm. Yoga, breathing, stretching, all of that, you know. Keep the calm level, keep the stress levels low. And the baby here hopefully don't run anywhere. But, hey, we'll see what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, we won't be talking about Diddy anymore. No more Diddy, people. But listen, it's crazy what's going on in these world and Hollywood and... You know, Fitz is talking about Hugh Edwards. It's mad. It's all mad, people. It really is. But anyway, Champions League last night. Liverpool I was turning between games. I missed like the first 20 minutes. When I got back, Liverpool was on, and then obviously the Real Madrid game. Madrid handled business, but they didn't look amazing. But it is still Madrid. They tend to get better as it goes on. Liverpool played AC Milan. What I saw of that game, and some of you might have watched all of that game. I didn't watch all of it. But AC Milan looked terrible. And all of you lot who've been saying all summer, go and get this Fofana from Monaco. Is that the guy you wanted? He was terrible last night. I never rated him, but you guys were all... All right, okay, I'll hold my hands up. I got a bit hyped off him as well. I watched him last season, French League. He looked like a beast. He bossed Arsenal. Okay, yeah, he stunk out the place. Oh, my days. Looked like he couldn't move. He looked older than Thomas Partey by half-time. I didn't know what was going on. That guy stunk. Leao. I said it before about Leao. I have arguments with Cruz about this as well. Cruz loves Leao. He hits the griddy. He's got dreads. He scores wonder goals. He's a YouTube footballer as far as I'm concerned. Now, don't get me wrong. He might go to a better team and become a better player. But at this moment in time, he's a gritty dreadlock merchant to me. He scores the odd banger. You know, he'll nutmeg someone every now and then and run past 4 players. I do actually think there's a talent there. If we signed him, I would probably be a bit hyped. But he's very inconsistent. Very, very inconsistent, man. Maybe it'd suit the Premier League better. It's a bit more open defensively. So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Did you see Thierry was moving on CBS? First show since the wedding man was in his... I seen it. Thierry, man. Good. Yo, that CBS is quality, though. I can't lie. I love the stuff and the banter that they run there. But, yeah, Milan looked terrible, man. Really poor. Like you said, Pulisic looked like their best player, and I don't think many people rate him that highly. I was thinking... Yo, Leao against Trent, he didn't do anything. Trent pocketed him, and Liverpool absolutely dominated that game. They could have won 5 or 6-1. Just briefly, before we get into the show, and you've brought it up there, and I had the picture ready, I need to start asking questions. Questions need to be asked about this guy. And for those of you who are listening in, it's this guy, Viktor Gyokeres. I need to start understanding more about this situation. You know, before, when I used to hear about him and I saw the goal record and, you know, saw the YouTube clips, I was like, you know, but Darwin did it over there. Maybe it's just Portuguese league tax. Every time this guy plays, he seems to score. And they're not tap-ins. They're all different kinds of goals. I'm seeing him run from the halfway line. I'm seeing left foot, right foot headers. Like, people need to start explaining to me. If there's people in the comments that watch this guy on a regular basis, please put the comments in and explain to me how good this guy is. I don't watch him enough to feel confident to say how good he is. But I feel like... somebody is missing out on a serious football player. What he's doing doesn't look normal. It doesn't look normal. And it's very easy to look at stats and go, oh, the stats look great. Champions League debut last night, scores. Like, he's on fire. He's absolutely on fire, people. Over 40 goals last season. He's got 9 goals in 6 games and 1 assist. Like, I don't know. Europa League last year, 9 games, 5 goals, 2 assists. Goes in the Champions League, bags in the first game. I got a message from somebody last night. He said to me, he's a Benfica fan. He messaged me on Twitter. He said, Curtis, I'm a Benfica fan, but I love Arsenal. He said, Arsenal's his English club. He said, honestly, Arsenal are making a massive mistake not signing this guy. And he's a Benfica fan. He doesn't like Sporting Lisbon. He said, Darwin Núñez was just a chaos merchant who hit a hot streak. He said he runs and ran a lot, powerful. He said this guy is technically far better than Darwin Núñez. He said, I cannot understand why an English club didn't buy him. I don't know. Like, people, let me know. And again, you're right. Abel, we missed the boat with Isak. Let him go to Newcastle. We looked at Isak and we were like, is he good enough? He goes to Newcastle. Now we're saying, let's pay 100 million for him. I feel like we've got to sign this guy. I don't know why, and I could be wrong. I feel like we've got to sign him. I'm not convinced by Osimhen. Ivan Toney's gone elsewhere. Isak's going to cost a fortune. Newcastle aren't going to sell him. I think we've got to go and sign this guy. I think we've got to go and get him. I know it's 85 million and they're not going to take less, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Elliot, you did. You was talking about Gyokeres for a while. I hadn't seen enough of him to be convinced. But surely, man, somewhat. He's 26. He's 26. He did it in the Championship. Championship's a hard league, very physical. Look his last year in the Championship. 21 goals and 12 assists. 33 goal contributions in a physical league. Goes to Portugal first season and smashes it to bits. 40 goals, 10 assists, 50 goal contributions. He's already got 9 goals this season. I'm sorry. There's got to be a reason, surely, why no one's buying him. But somebody's got to pay that release clause. Somebody's got to pay it. I'm starting to feel uncomfortable if this guy goes to another English club. Because there's so few strikers out there. People, I just want to give you this into context. He's on £46,000 a week. £46,000 a week. Like, pay the 80-odd million release clause, pay it in installments, give him 80, 90 grand. He'll be over the moon with that. I don't know. Somebody's got to buy him, man. He's scoring too many goals. You can't keep sitting there and allowing that to happen. I think he's going to score 30, 40 goals again this season. And we've got Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League, so we're obviously going to get a closer look at him. But like you said, Chelsea need a striker. They didn't get Osimhen. Maybe they'll go for him. Liverpool, there's now talk that Liverpool will look for a striker and may get rid of Darwin Núñez. We can't wait around. I'd be going for him in January. Seriously. Matt said 12 goals in 8. I think I heard the announcer say last night that's Haaland type of stuff. Bro, honestly, he is destroying those leagues at the moment. And like I said, he's gone in the Champions League now and started it off there. Fabrizio did put a tweet out about him, giving some context around what he's... Gyokeres scores on his Champions League debut, 9 goals and 3 assists in 7 games this season for Sporting, 12 goals and 5 assists in 9 games for club and country. The Swedish striker provided a goal contribution in every game this season. Absolute machine. Somebody's got to get him, because if they give him a new contract, the release clause will be even higher. But it is what it is. One can only hope, people, that by January we do something. What I like about him, it looks like he's got all-round game. Looks like he can link up play and stuff as well. That's what Arteta likes. Go and get the deal done, man. We need a striker. Go and pay it. We need to cop him in January, said Edu's Barbecue. We do, bruv. 100%. Absolutely. Jorge said pay 100 million, be the only signing next summer. I'll be honest, I want him this season. Forget next summer. Do it now. City are in court. We didn't spend that much. Go and get him in January. He might sign a new deal, have 120 million release clause. Gibbs said, Big C, how good was Sylvain Wiltord? Is he an Arsenal legend? He's not an Arsenal legend, I'll be honest. I loved Wiltord. Anyone who watched Arsenal back then, I loved Wiltord. Because I liked him when he played for France, and we ended up getting him, and he didn't even start for us. Do you know how good it was as an Arsenal fan them days? I mean, we had Thierry and Dennis and them on the pitch, so 9 times out of 10... they were good enough to turn teams over anyway. But you know how good it was that you could bring on Edu and bring on Wiltord and bring on Carnu and bring on players of that level? We had game changers off the bench. Wiltord scored the winner at Old Trafford. French international. This guy was winning the Euros and that. You're talking about a serious... Wiltord starts now for Arsenal, by the way. He starts. Wiltord gets in this Arsenal team. I'm telling you that. So, serious baller. If you're thinking about he was a squad player, you know, it's as simple as that. He starts for Arsenal right now. He was a big goal scorer in France, came to England. We used him more off the left, sometimes up front as cover. Superb player. The levels were crazy back then. Clutch as well. Yeah, he was a cult hero. Cult hero, not a legend, but he was part of a legendary period. Wiltord! I've got the gold shirt, man, with Henry on the back. It's legendary. Iconic moments, man, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Wiltord was a serious baller, man. Serious baller. Super clutch, like you said. Carl said Arsenal cannot go for Gyokeres. Because he has created a good, maybe bad issue with having Havertz up front. Well, you got to be ruthless, as I'm saying now. You just said there, Wiltord was a French international winning the Euros. He ended up on the bench. What is the problem with Arsenal signing Gyokeres and saying, Gyokeres, Havertz, go to work. May the best player win. If Gyokeres is better than Havertz, we succeed as a club. If Havertz steps his game up and became better than Gyokeres, we still succeed as a club. It doesn't change anything. It makes us stronger. So Havertz should not stop us from buying Gyokeres or another striker. Arsenal should buy another striker, and then I think Jesus gets sold in the summer. You would go with Gyokeres and Havertz as your two strikers. That's where I'm thinking. But Arteta should have signed a new contract and a P45. One of them goes into effect at the end of the season. Well, we will see. I suppose there's a long way to go. We see what happens with what we achieve this season, you know. El Rey said it's healthy for Havertz to have proper striker as competition. Havertz right now is comfortable, and I don't like that. I don't like players being comfortable at Arsenal Football Club. They shouldn't. You might be comfortable if you're Messi or Ronaldo or Henry or Bergkamp because you're world class. But I think Havertz turns up every week knowing, yeah, I'm starting. I'm starting over Jesus, even if Jesus is fit. And I don't think Havertz is good enough to feel that comfortable at Arsenal. So, Mark said, have you heard Everton are doing a ceremony for Kevin Campbell today? No, I haven't heard that, man. I know they've shown a lot of love and respect to him, man. So shout out to Everton, man. Still crazy to think we're not going to do any more shows with Kev, man. It's mad. It is mad. Justin said, start Jesus in the 8 position. He always drops deep. I always think sometimes in football, players have qualities that look like they would work in another position. For example, Trent's passing is unbelievable, right? Trent's passing is ridiculous. So everyone says, oh, put Trent centre mid. You put Trent centre mid, and he's not good in centre mid because the passing is not the only fundamental of playing there. It's the awareness. He can lean on the touchline where you put him in the middle of the pitch. The whole game is around him. You've got to be able to scan 360. It's a lot different. I'm not sure if Jesus... I mean, I get your point. He does drop in there, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Dad set up the Villa. Massive for Villa. Winning last night. Villa have got a lot of pedigree in Europe. They're a big club. I do respect Villa as a club, to be honest. Big up Max, man. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you are well. Big up to Max. Max is the guy who, does the thumbnails, and that's a big up to him. Jesus is a natural winger, not a striker. I mean, they say that, but he did come through as a striker in Brazil, just not prolific. That's the problem. Anyway, let me get into the show. Wow, I'm 17 minutes in. I'm waffling like an Arteta press conference. Let me get into the show. The main... and big up everyone, man, shouting out Kev in the comments, man. And I'm going to try and research that about Everton. As I said, I've not forgot. I am going to do something on this channel for Kev, definitely. Gabriel Jesus. Getting his flowers. Deservedly so. As I said, we're in a Saliba whirlwind. He's that good. They have to remember the guy next to him who does a lot of the dirty work. You know, what I like about Gabriel is I feel like Gabriel's the one that says, listen, I'm going to go and bully him. And if something goes wrong, Saliba, you come in and deal with it. And I feel like even against Manchester City, Gabriel will be the one who's the aggressor towards Haaland. Toto Scalacci, 59 years of age. Yeah, he was a top quality player as well for the Italians. Very sad. So, yeah, Gabriel Magalhaes. Did I say Gabriel Jesus? I mean, he plays that far back. He basically is a centre-back at times. Gabriel Magalhaes, apologies. Getting his flowers, was outstanding on the weekend. Scored the winning goal. Now Arsenal are set to open negotiations about a new 4-year contract. Gabriel Magalhaes, not Jesus. Gabriel Magalhaes. Arsenal have started the process of extending Magalhaes' contract, which currently expires in 2027, so by the end of the season, 2 years left. The talks are in an early stage, but the Gunners seem to be keen to retain, and this is vital. Just to give you some more context, there's a story that PSG sent scouts to watch Arsenal this weekend to look at Gabriel and William Saliba, which is very interesting. Of course, Saliba, who is apparently a PSG fan, even though we've always said Real Madrid would be the club, maybe PSG would pull up the heartstrings. Now, Gabriel has 2.5 years left on his contract, £100,000 a week. It's believed that Arsenal will offer Gabriel Magalhaes, not Jesus. Don't panic. Michael said 4-year deal for Jesus. Yeah, he was panicking. 4-year deal for Gabriel Magalhaes that would take him until 2029. The 4-year deal would be 4.5 years if he was to sign it now. So effectively 4 years from the end of the season. Comic said I thought he was an Arsenal fan, but his French club is PSG. So Saliba, that's the club that he liked in France. This is well deserved. Gabriel, he deserves all the credit that he's getting now. And listen, we all know that at times Gabriel, his aggression almost spills over into being clumsy. And he has made mistakes. He really has. However, I think we now have to start looking at Gabriel and say, listen, we paid about £35 million for him. He's 26 years of age. When I look at the last 3 seasons, 35 games out of 38 in the league, 38 games out of 38, and then 36. He's missed a grand total of 5 games in 3 seasons. I mean, and one of those seasons was because he got a red card, was suspended. So he hardly misses a game. He got 5 league goals, then 3 league goals, then 4 league goals. He's chipping in. He's getting as many goals as some of our strikers are getting. Left-footed centre-backs are very difficult to get high quality at the moment. There's not many good... How many good left-footed centre-backs are there in world football at the moment? Realistically, if you started thinking about them, I actually can hardly think of any. You've got Lisandro at Man United, who I don't think is that good, really. He gets injured a lot. I honestly, Laporte was brilliant, but he's past his best now, you would say. How many top quality left-footers are there? Is Bastoni left-footed in Italy? I'm not sure. So I think we've got an absolute gem. Skriniar, yeah, Bastoni, Botman. Botman's decent. He gets injured a lot. Bastoni's good. Calafiori, obviously, we've signed him. So Gabriel is honestly, and Guy Fawkes, honestly, no, he said, you don't think Lisandro is good. When I say I don't think he's good, I don't think he's that good. Like, I don't look at Lisandro and think, oh, what a centre-back. I think he can be got at. Vardiol and Ake are good, of course. City would always have a few good ones. Some people saying Skriniar's right-footed. But when you put it into context, Gabriel is one of the best left-footed centre-backs in world football. People might not want to hear that and might think that's surprising, but he's genuinely one of the best left-footed centre-backs. So, listen, to think that a year ago, we nearly sold this guy to Saudi. We were going to cash in. The rumour is we were going to sign Laporte from Manchester City last summer and Gabriel was going to be sold. Which, I mean, I actually think Laporte is a very good centre-back. But again, picking up Man City players who they want to get rid of, I would not have wanted Laporte to come in for Gabriel. I'm glad that that didn't work out and that this guy has stayed. And listen, Rio Ferdinand today on his podcast said he thinks this is the best centre-back pairing in the Prem. Shearer said the same. I think we're very fortunate to have these two playing at centre-back. So a new contract for Gabriel, absolutely deserved. He earns £100,000 a week. It's believed his new deal will be in the region of £150,000 and will take him up to 2029. Keep that partnership together as long as possible. They've got a very good chemistry between them. You can see they get on. They celebrate each other's goals. It's well deserved. And listen, it's a brilliant player at 35 million. And again, listen, I always say balance is very important in life. I'm very critical of Edu. I do have to give him praise for this deal. 35 million, is a fantastic bit of business. He's in the Brazil squad, although Brazil are struggling at the moment. Kimmy said, pull up the bricks truck for Saliba, pay that man and bring the silverware. Yeah, I think with Saliba, it's a collective of money and silverware to keep him because the reality is Madrid are lurking in the background. Madrid are lurking. PSG are lurking, I think we could probably fend off a PSG move, but Madrid is... And Michael, I'm with you. Everything you're saying now I saw last night. I watched the beginning of the Madrid game and Danny Carvajal's playing at centre-back and Lucas Vazquez at right-back because they're short at centre-back at the moment. And I'm thinking, of course, they're looking. Alaba's in his 30s. Rudiger's in his 30s. Militao suffered a big injury. Nacho's gone. We have got to win something and give Saliba a new deal, in my opinion. That's the only way you keep him from going there. Madrid were terrible, but you know the thing with Madrid, Jason, is kind of... If Madrid are winning in the early stages, I don't think you can read too much into Madrid in terms of performance level. I've seen Madrid do this so many times. I've seen Madrid... You've all seen it. Madrid will lose a game against somebody... A minnow or someone. Was it Sheriff that time beat them? Shakhtar Donetsk have caused them problems. When it comes to crunch time, you know what happens to Madrid. Majority of the time. Get to them quarterfinals, them semi-finals when the eyes of the world are on and the spotlight's on. Madrid turn into Madrid. So I wouldn't read too much into them. They're also trying to figure out that chemistry of Mbappe and everything. So I wouldn't read too much into that yet. But yeah, listen, Gabriel, well-deserved. And hopefully they get that contract tied up sooner rather than later. Jay Black said, people always say Madrid play bad. They play terrible, but who wins the trophies? Exactly. If you offered me now stinky 1-0 football all season for Arsenal, but we lift the Premier League, I take it every single day of the week than blockbuster, exciting football and trophyless. I want trophies. If you can get performance and results, then that's perfect. PSG and Madrid should go for the Spurs centre-back, stay away from ours. Yeah, apparently Madrid were linked with Romero in the summer, to be honest. Said the same thing about Leipzig last season, ended up winning it yet. Remember that game? They struggled against Leipzig. Madrid love a free, go take Van Dijk. Yeah, out of contract, hasn't signed yet. So that would be interesting. James said, have you seen Saliba's comments? We need trophies. Has he been speaking? What's gone off? How are you not letting me know about this in the chat, people? Saliba's been talking. What's he said? What you been saying? Where's the comments? What did he say? I've worked hard to become... What? Oh. Ow. I mean, wow. Let me share the screen. Big up to you, James. People, you got to let me know about these things when I don't see them. I like the confidence, but of course, he's giving us the warning, man. I told people, let me just say before I bring these comments on screen. When I say things on Twitter about Arsenal, we've got to win trophies. And there's people in the comments going, oh, you've got no right to demand trophies. Arteta's done so much to rebuild us. That's cool, bro. You've rebuilt the foundations. Where's the success? If we don't win trophies, this period of time will not be looked back on as a successful period of Arsenal's history. We only look back on the times when we lifted silverware. Let me put this on the screen. Let me zoom in, just so you can see this properly, people. Check what the guy's saying. I've worked hard to become the best defender in the world. I think I'm one of the best, but to say I'm the best, I have to win some titles. I think it's the thing that I've missed. If you win titles, then you can say you are the best. It's as simple as that, people. That's the warning shot. There's the warning. Are the fan base going to accept this? Or are they going to keep burying their head in their sand and ignoring it? The warning signs are there. All this pretty, we're a nice young group. And, oh, let them grow together. And this is the warning. BBK said, bro, you call social media overreactive. Now you're here overreacting to comments. Do you want me to tell you the difference, bro? I don't play for Arsenal. So when I say something about Arsenal online, people don't need to get in their feelings about it because the reality is I don't play for the football club. I'm just a fan with an opinion. He's our best player in my opinion. So when he says something, I am going to react to his comment because If he leaves Arsenal, we get worse. He's not replaceable for us at the moment. So they don't need to react to my comment. React to Saliba's comment. That's the warning shot. These men aren't here for a nice day out. Do you know what I mean? BBK, he's come back. He said, true, but they're only comments. Do you know what, though, BBK? I'll be real with you. And I respect what you're saying. It's no problem. You were respectful, so there's no problem. I remember when Robin Van Persie said stuff and they said, oh, it's only a comment. It's only a comment that Van Persie's talking about ambition. And it's only a comment when Fabregas was talking about Barcelona. Them comments led them players out of the door. Courtesy's replaceable. When I say replaceable, if you sell your Ferrari, I'll think about the car here. Because I said Vauxhall Astra the other day, but they're actually decent cars. If you sell your Ferrari and you buy a Skoda, you've replaced your car with another car. But there's levels. Yeah, we can replace him. But there's levels to the replacement. We can't get a better centre-back than Saliba at Arsenal at this moment in time. Any centre-back out there that you think is better than Saliba, I don't think we're in a position to get them. So people saying, Diamande, yeah, good centre-back. He ain't at the level of this guy right now. So he's saying it, not me. When I say it online, people cry about it. We cannot replace him. We cannot. Pep settings, people. Listen, man, I'm telling you. Pep was fooling us, though, you know. Pep cried about Aguero and signed Haaland, so he actually did replace him. And he upgraded on him in terms of a goal scorer. Listen, Dre, I'm with you. Do you know what? I want Arsenal players to have this attitude. Even if it's risky, because if we're not successful, it might mean one or two of them go. And I think Matt just said it. There'll be other players in the dressing room that think the same. Let's keep it a buck. You know, there's other players in that dressing room that might be thinking the same thing. I like that attitude because I don't want players that feel like losing is acceptable. Don't celebrate second. Look at how you turn second into first place. So this is the warning shot. We won't talk about it for too long, but it's there. It's there. The club have to respond. That's why you got to get players in, but we'll see. We'll see. What I'm saying is he will not accept the current situation for too long. He knows Madrid are there, the money's there, the trophies are there. His level can go sky high. So we'll have to see. As I said, why did Van Dijk not leave Liverpool? They gave him the big contract and they were winning trophies. So he didn't need to leave. He never felt the reason to. So let's see. Gabriel, new contract. Saliba, warning shots. Let's see how the club reacts this season. Trust the process and all that. Doesn't last forever. This is, you know, dog-eat-dog world, people. They see you with top players, they'll come for them if you're not in a strong position. Akeem, big up my bro. He said, this applies pressure on the club. I like this comment. We finally got all the deadwood gone. We just need to add quality, 100%. I'm glad. I am glad Saliba has said that comment. I'm really glad. Let the people know. I want to be the best. I can only do that if I lift silverware. If I don't do that, I'm just a B-Tech Harry Kane. Harry Kane's one of the best strikers we've seen in this generation, if I'm being honest, in terms of a goal scorer. He hasn't won nothing. We don't give him the praise he deserves. We say, oh, you're a little side man who played for Tottenham, scored about 100 goals, didn't lift no silverware. We don't rate him. You talk about strikers in this generation, we're going to talk Luis Suarez, Benzema, Lewandowski, Haaland, and Mbappe. We don't talk Kane. Kane, so what? You didn't win nothing. You don't want to be that guy, people. End of your career, you want to look in the trophy cabinet and see a whole heap of silverware in there. You know what I mean? So that's where it is. We got to win. We got to win. Anyway, let's move on. Nathan said Harry Kane's brother done him over. Do you know what? I've heard a lot of people say that, but I always think, man, your agent works for you. You don't work for your agent. If his agent priced him out of a move or whatever, they say his agent made him sign a new contract at Tottenham. Like, no. Harry Kane could have said no to the contract regardless of what his brother lined up for him. All his brother can do is say, I've got the offer lined up. Are you going to put the pen on paper? By the way, that Saliba article's on Central Fox, but I just typed in Saliba on Twitter. It's on BBC Sport website. So it's there. Somebody just said in the comments, can you say where that article is? I didn't even know about it myself, so big up James for letting me know. Bit of transfer news before we look ahead to tomorrow's game, and we have a little plan. Unfortunately, the press conference isn't till this evening. Champions League press conferences are in the evening time, so I can't do press conference reaction. Maybe we'll do a 2 o'clock stream tomorrow and do press conference reaction, and then we'll do the watch along in the evening. Leroy Sané. Leroy. I think this guy is another one that's starting to become like a modern day Yann Villa, Julian Draxler. Like, how many times have we been linked with Leroy Sané? By the way, he's a player that over the years I've loved and I've wanted him at Arsenal. Yeah, the mystery German that we were signing in the summer that never happened. But Leroy Sané's got an interesting... Yeah, he's the new Thomas Lemar. Remember when we apparently offered 90 million for Thomas Lemar when Alexis Sanchez was about to leave? Do you really believe that? That was under Wenger. And the thing is, actually, Thomas Lemar's had a very average career. I know he went to Atletico Madrid, big club, but he's fulfilled like nowhere near the potential we expected. He doesn't get in the French squad or anything. But Leroy Sané, the reason for this story is that Leroy Sané is out of contract next summer. He hasn't been able to agree a new deal with Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich have offered him a lower contract offer than the current contract that he's on. Leroy Sané at the moment earns £285,000 a week. Absolutely huge contract. He's 28 years of age. He does turn 29 in January. So, again, it's always that question. Is he past his best? I mean, he ripped us apart last season in the game at the Emirates. So the quality is still there. I don't know how consistent he is. His numbers at Bayern Munich have not been great. In the 4 seasons he's been there, 6 goals, 7 goals, 8 goals, then 8 goals. He did get 8 goals, 11 assists. So it is 19 goal contributions. Listen, I'll be honest with you, right? If Sané was out of contract next summer, I would take him on a free. I don't think we're good enough to turn him down on a free with no transfer fee. I think he would still be somebody. And you could play him on the left, to be honest. And it saves you a massive transfer fee. So on a free, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, come on, he ripped Kivior to shreds. It is Kivior. Could he do that to Timber, like you said? If you're paying a big transfer fee along with a massive wage and he's 29 years of age, I would say no. I would say no. If you had to pay a decent fee for him, I would be saying get somebody younger. Can you get Nico Williams? Can you get Kvara? Can you get somebody of that level who's younger, who's still got time to build and improve? So for me, if he was on a free next summer, I'd take him. And listen, I always say this, people. When players have either worked with Arteta or they've been at Man City, or don't be surprised if these guys end up at Arsenal. You know how this would be sold to the fan base if it happened. Arteta would sign him all day long. You just know he would. He worked with him. Apparently had a good relationship with him and Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling's just signed for us, people. So if we can sign Raheem Sterling, we can definitely sign Leroy Sané. One thing I always tell Arsenal fans, don't be surprised by anything when it comes to the transfer window. Like, we've signed David Luiz. We've signed Jorginho. You know, we've signed Raheem Sterling. Do not be surprised if we were to sign Leroy Sané. And it's a free. And Edu loves a free. So, come on. He is still a good player, in my opinion. Not as good as he was at Manchester City, but it'll be interesting. Maybe he's just playing games. Maybe his agent's just putting this out there to put pressure on Bayern Munich to give him a better contract. So, There may be nothing in this. There may be a lot. The story is in court offside, which isn't the best of sources. Said Arsenal and Newcastle could move for Leroy Sane, who is reportedly unhappy at Bayern Munich. His contract expires in 2025. And also, as I told you last year, his girlfriend moved back to England after reportedly being unhappy living in Germany. So his girlfriend and his child are in England, and apparently he was commuting from Germany back to England on his days off to see his family, which would obviously be difficult and stressful. So maybe he would want to come back to England. Who knows? On a free, I think it's a no-brainer as a squad player. But we'll see. We'll see. Rather Nico than Sane. And I think South London's finest for saying take Tell. Is it Matthias Tell from Bayern? He's a good upcoming player, isn't he? Sudge said, what does a Messi, Ronaldo, KDB, Rodri, Vinny Jr. have in common? Generational talent and trophies. To be included in greatness, you need to... Listen, absolutely 100%. The reality of the situation is, even looking at it from a centre-back's point of view in the last, 5 to 10 years, you're talking about Ramos, you're talking about Van Dijk, you're talking about Thiago Silva. Rudiger would probably go in there now. Diaz has done very well at City. Those guys have all won major trophies. In fact, those guys have all won the Champions League and their own domestic league title as well. In fact, yeah, Van Dijk's won the Champions League. So Saliba hasn't even got an FA Cup. He hasn't even got a Carabao Cup. And that is the thing. And that's why Saliba's comment is so damaging, because he's telling you, I'm trying to be the best centre-back in the world. I'm not just trying to be in the mix. I want to be the best centre-back on the planet. And if he doesn't win major trophies, people will never give him that respect. They won't give him that. They'll say, you're a great player, but you haven't got over the finish line, bro. And he's obviously thinking about that. So Arsenal have to wake up now. Back in the day, Van Persie was talking like that. The club never woke up. Next minute, he left. So the club have to wake up now. We might think we're comfortable and project youth and give him another... when he signed the new deal, people were going, yeah, but hopefully in the next 3 years he wins the title. I said, you do realise if it's in the next 2 years or 3 years, we will lose major players in the meantime while we're trying to get there. So you might make a step forward, but then you take 2 steps back because then you've got to replace Saliba. Do you know what I mean? And then it's a vicious circle. You know, even Henry left to win the Champions League. I mean, the man won the Champions League in them bulky Reebok boots playing for Barca. It didn't even look proper. That looked like AI, bro. It didn't even look real. We had Thierry Henry in high socks and vapors. Barcelona had him in bulky Reebok boots. But he won the Champions League there. It's crazy. TNM said, we need to pull Chelsea and give them all 8-year contracts. It's crazy how Chelsea manipulated that, innit? But would Saliba take an 8-year contract at Arsenal? I'm not sure he would. If you look at the players that have signed 8-year deals at Chelsea, they're more up-and-coming players. You know, Enzo, who'd had a year at Benfica, and Mudryk, who came from Ukraine, and, you know, not the top players. This channel is funny, said off topic. Is this the first time a Champions League game is played on Thursday? We're in the big boy comp, but still play on a Thursday. I don't know if it's a one-off. I'm not sure if it's happened before. I believe it's the only game of our league stage, if you like, that is on a Thursday. So not to worry. The rest of our games are on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. E. Ross said, used to wear Reebok Classics. Yeah, Reebok trainers back in the day. You know, the G-Unit sneakers. I used to wear them back in the day. I'll be honest, I haven't worn Reeboks for a long, long time. I feel like Reebok, man, kind of got pushed out of the way. There's a few now that, you know, man don't really wear too much. But yeah, man. But the Reebok football boots, nah, I didn't like them one bit. Bergkamp wore all black Reeboks. He made them look quite good. But Henry and them big Reeboks, man, they look horrible. Oh, Reebok pumps were good as well. They were good, Nick. You're right. They were good. Matt said that this younger generation of Arsenal fans will see what we went through watching folk leave for better opportunities. Honestly, I have discussions with people, right? And especially when you speak to the younger generation, they go, yeah, but this is one of the best Arsenals I've seen. And I say, I understand that because you suffered a real bad generation. But what you don't understand is we're building, but we haven't won anything. And if these guys feel like it's going to take too long, or you're wasting peak years of their career, they will walk out the door. And then you'll sit there and go, wow, I thought we were building to winning the league, and now Saliba's done this. And then you think your defense is ready. All you've got to do is fix the attack. Then something goes out of your defense. It's like holes leaking all over the place. You're patching up one hole, you think it's fixed, then it starts leaking somewhere else. And all of a sudden, before you know it, they're flooding your house. And you're back down in 5th in the Europa League. And that's how quick things can change. Because also, what you've got to remember is the domino effect. If I'm Saka and Saliba leaves, I'm thinking this club aren't ambitious enough. Maybe I need to leave. So that's the problem. That's where it all goes wrong. You know? So I keep saying it. We're not going to have this run of players for long unless we keep moving forward. Damn sounds like a Lotus I'm working on. Big up Salmon. Man's always in the chop shop dealing with cars. Liam said, I'm 22. This is the best Arsenal I've seen. And to me, that's crazy. Because I'm older and I think that's why I don't get as excited as some of the younger generation. Because man are like, yo, this is the best Arsenal I've seen. I'm like, raw, that's mad when I hear that. This to me is like an apprenticeship Arsenal. This ain't even the proper job. This is just doing an apprenticeship. These are young bucks trying to find their way. We had the team we had back in the day doesn't even make sense when I think about it. Like we had superstars all over the team. Henry, Bergkamp, Pires, Vieira, Campbell, Ashley Cole. It's a cheat code. It doesn't even make sense. You know, it really doesn't. I don't know how we didn't win the Champions League. I don't want to get into that discussion, but I've said many times I think Wenger underachieved at Arsenal. How we never won a Champions League with that team is one of the biggest underachievements I have ever seen in Arsenal history. It's just unbelievable. Like, we went invincible and couldn't win the Champions League. It just baffles me. It really does. We should have dominated. But hey. And again, Wenger was doing similar things. Oh, look at the great football we're playing and we're getting top 4. And they go, okay, we'll take Van Persie. We'll take Fabregas. We'll take Nasri. We'll take Adebayor. We'll take Kolo Touré. You know? Saliba serving his notice. Bro, I hope not, you know. You know when you ring the landlord, say, yo, bro, yeah, man, I'm moving out still, man. I need that 3rd bedroom, so I'm gonna leave this apartment. And yeah, but yo, I thought you was gonna stay there. Nah, bro, I'm moving. You know, it's how it goes sometimes. Let me take Leroy Sané off there anyway. Bon him. I don't think we'll sign him anyway. But yeah, man, honestly, Arsenal have to keep moving forward. Curtis, unpopular opinion, this Arsenal is better than the Invincibles, just harder to win. Honestly, Don. Respectfully, you've been in this chat for a long time, so there's no consideration of blocking you. I respect you, bro. I'm timing you out for 3 minutes. And in that 3 minutes, I want you to go on YouTube and just type in Invincibles goals and come back in 3 minutes. If you still feel the same, we'll double it to 6 minutes so you can watch a longer video and then come back. I hope you're bantering me. I actually hope you're bantering me. I'm almost like, I've got a bottle of water here. If I didn't have cane rose, I would tip the whole bottle of water on my head and just sit here with water dripping off my forehead. I hope you're bantering me, Don. Honestly, I want to see your next response. And I hope you're just saying, yeah, I'm only joking. A man said, you didn't even put like LOL or a laughing face. So that's why I'm assuming it's real. He said, Curtis, unpopular opinion. This Arsenal is better than the Invincibles. Just harder to win things now because of Pep. Do I do it? I mean, I get the hair dryer. I can get it dry in 10, 15 minutes. Might mess it up a bit, but do I just take it off and tip it? All right, he said he's bantering. I'll let you off, Don. Don, I was about to check my insurance policy on the laptop. Honestly, I was ready to throw it out the window and just reclaim and try and tell him it's more expensive than it is. I'm ready for a new one. If not, that's crazy. They're not even close. Like, being honest, how many of this Arsenal team get in the Invincibles? I don't know. I think Saliba, better than Kolo Touré, maybe. Saka, Lundberg, boy, and that's a stretch, by the way. They're the only two I'd probably even give you an argument with. Man are saying Don said it seriously, got cooked, and then just, I'm only joking, man. Man seen the response and said, raw, better just say I'm joking. Big up Don, though. Big up Don. Invincibles versus the current team. Oh, mate, do me a favour. Thierry drifting onto that left-hand side. Running past Ben White. Oh, no. Come on. It's wild. Havertz against Sol Campbell. It wouldn't even be fair. It just wouldn't be fair. It really wouldn't. But anyway, Declan Rice makes the bench. Yeah, he would make he would make the bench, definitely. Edu was on the bench, so yeah. Anyway. When the moon is shines, I call pizza pie Calafiori. Calafiori's back, people. He's the only one back from the injured players. He's back in training today. Saka is in training as well. A lot of people were worried about him. Was it an injury? It was reported in the Evening Standard that it was just cramp, and he is okay. No problems with Saka. And Calafiori has returned. Obviously, he got this injury on international duty where Osman Dembele sort of scraped down the back of his Achilles and part of his ankle. So only one player back. I think really the thought process is, how do we approach this Atalanta game? We're going to look at a potential lineup here, but I think we need to rotate a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. What do you guys think of this training kit? I'm just not sure. You know, because it's like, it's Jamaica colours. That's why I like it. You know, the black, the red, the green and stuff. No yellow, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll be getting that one, to be honest. But I would just make a couple of changes for the game. I wouldn't make wholesale changes. I think we have to respect our opponent. And I always say this, and again, it's... yeah, I agree, Karos. Lazy copy and paste. They did it last year with the yellow and blue one. Now they're just doing the same sort of thing. I think Arsenal have to be honest that we are not a huge... We're not a huge team in Europe when it comes to pedigree, if I'm being honest. We're a big football club, but we're not like... I don't think we turn up in Europe and teams are like, oh my God. Like, we haven't won. We don't get to finals. So I don't think we can afford to go to Atalanta, who won the Europa League, something we didn't win, and just say, let's make wholesale changes. We'll roll them. No, you can't. A lot of the big teams won last night. It's a league. So I think we've got to beat them. We've got to beat them, in my opinion. Lib said, don't forget the great Yaya Sanogo. Oh, my days. The postman. The French postman. So, yeah, I mean, again, difficult conversations. The fact we don't have a Europa League, I mean, unbelievable. Like I said, when we qualified for the Europa League, I was embarrassed. But the good thing about it, I thought, was, well, at least we'll win it. And we didn't win it. It's unbelievable. So... what I wanted to look at just briefly, obviously great news that Calafiori is back. He's another option. Will he start? I don't know. You know, he hasn't started a game for us yet. Back in Italy, Timber obviously has come back from an ACL. So, do we just play him, or is there a point where the good thing is we've got Carabao Cup next week, so we can do wholesale changes after the Man City game. Now, I just wanted to get a bit of context on Atalanta. And they haven't started the season particularly well. 2 wins, 2 defeats. 8 goals scored, 8 conceded. They're 1 point ahead of AC Milan. AC Milan were absolutely dreadful last night. So I thought I'd have a little look at Atalanta, who they played, who's been... Let's look at their last game from the weekend. They did win. They beat Fiorentina 3-2. Oh, Lookman did score. All eyes will be on him. I was kind of saying I didn't want him when Arsenal were linked with him. Let's have a look how they lined up. Oh, back 3. 3 at the back. I mean, I don't know all of these players, to be honest. Know some... Oh, my God. Oh, my days. Let me tell you something right here, right now. Let me tell you something. If Bukayo Saka does not get the better of Mesut Ozil's security guard, left centre-back, They're playing 3 at the back, and left centre-back is Kolasinac. You watch, Kolasinac will look like Roberto Carlos against Arsenal, out of nowhere. I mean, listen, they're well organised. The formation is very interesting. 3-4-2-1. With Lookman given a bit of a free roll as like an attacking midfielder. That De Ketelaere, who was at AC Milan, they've brought him back. This Ederson is very highly rated. Liverpool were linked with him. Kolasinac, Darun. Who's on the bench? Zappa, Costa, Juan Cuadrado. Oh my days, he is old school. I thought Juan Cuadrado was at... Juve must have got rid of him. Rui Patricio. Yeah, interesting. Zappa Costa was at Chelsea. So, listen. They've got a good manager. They're well organised. Lookman is quick. I thought Scamacca played for him. He must be injured. What I will say is this. The way this Champions League is set up, I don't think you can't afford to lose too many games because you want to try and... Scamacca's done his ACL. That's crazy. You want to finish in the top 8. If you finish in the next 8, you have to play a further 2 games to try and get through to the next round. So it's more games, more fatigue, more stress on the squad. You want to try and finish in that top 8, which means you're going to have to win 5 or 6 out of your games probably. So, Zaniolo was at Villa, yeah. Kolasinac will kick the ish out of Saka. One thing you can say about Kolasinac, he is aggressive. That Ederson is a good player. This will be a hard game. Whenever you play against the 3 at the back, and I've played against 3, and your wingers are your biggest asset in that system. Because what you need to do is drag those 2 out or force their wing backs backwards and force them into a back 5. Then it creates loads of space. So Saka and whoever's on the left, they need to get joy down the sides. The strength of them is they've almost got 4 players in midfield. Darun, Ederson, and then Lookman and, what's his name? De Ketelaere. Obviously, they'll probably drift wide as well, but they've got the wing-backs who'll get wide. So the central areas will be very difficult. So how do Arsenal approach this game in midfield? Obviously, the big plus for us is Declan Rice is back. The worry of the situation is you got people like Lookman and Ederson making runs in central areas. The guy next to Declan Rice is going to be very slow, whether that's Jorginho or whether that's Thomas Partey. So central areas is the worry. Wide areas is where I think we can hurt them and dominate the game. No Martin Odegaard. Again, still haven't announced how long he's out for. They're obviously trying to keep it under wraps. There's a story saying that he's been sent to see a specialist. Which, I mean, how many times does he need a scan before they realise? Or are they really worried that it's a bad one? Or do they think there's a chance he comes back quicker and they can get him back for Man City? I think it's either it's not bad and they think they can get him back in maybe 10 days, which would have him back for the Man City game. Or maybe he's out for like 2 months and they're panicking. I hope, obviously, it's the first one and he's not out for long. Cole said I would rest Havertz, Saka, Saliba and Gabriel. Both centre-backs. It's a big risk. Let's have a look. I want to know your guys' opinion briefly. How do we line up for this game? I'm going, obviously, David Raya in goal. I would rotate a little bit, but not much. I think it's too early in the competition to make wholesale changes. You lose this game. Bear in mind our next game is PSG. You lose to PSG, you're hanging on to qualify. Like, it can turn that quick. I don't think we can afford to go too weak. We don't have a lot to rotate. So, who would I rotate? I mean, listen, we do have to think about the fact that we've got Manchester City at the weekend. All right, Calafiori in the back 4 would probably be the only one that I would do. I'll start Calafiori. Timber's come back from ACL. I don't want him to... Oh, what am I doing here? Gabriel at right back. I don't want to overdo it with him. So I'll maybe give him the rest. Now I'm playing him right centre back. I can't do that. So I'll maybe make one change in defence. So I'll go with Saliba and Ben White. and I'll go Calafiori, just so that we've got a solid foundation to build from. Declan Rice. This is the problem. Who do you play in midfield? Because you play Rice, but then I feel like you've got to play Jorginho ahead of Partey, because Partey doesn't look fully fit. I don't know if Partey, he played 90 against Tottenham. Can he then play 90 against Atalanta and then play 90 against City? I don't think he can. And I think you need Partey for City. So I'm gonna go with those two. Slower game as well. Champions League. I think Jorginho would be better in a Champions League game where it's more possession based than the physicality. So I'll leave Partey out. Who would you guys go? All right, let's do it. Nwaneri. Play him. Play him in the 10. You know what? This website doesn't have him, I don't think, unless they've updated it. Nwaneri. Nope, they've never heard of him. So they've destroyed me there. We'll leave it blank. But Nwaneri, I'm playing him attacking mid. I'm sorry, I've seen enough. Trossard wasn't great in that role. I'm thinking now, do we rest Saka? Would you guys rest Saka? Or do we play him? There's no way he's starting. You're probably right. He'll probably play Trossard again, I think. Or he'll play Havertz and put Jesus up top. Remember, Jesus had a very good Champions League record last year. Let's assume he might go with Havertz. But then I would probably leave Havertz up front, to be honest. So that's a tough one. I would try and rest Saka. I'll be honest. He plays too much football. I'm playing Raheem Sterling on the right. On the left, I'll go Martinelli. I'll go for the pace. Because they're playing free at the back, I think pace will hurt them. And then we'll go with Havertz up top. And the blank spot would be Nwaneri. But just for the sake, we'll just put Trossard there. But I didn't like Trossard in midfield. I'll go with that. Or you could put Jesus up top and put Havertz in midfield. I'm thinking he might go with that because Jesus did have a very good Champions League record last year in the group stage. So he might think, get Jesus back. Listen, I'm comfortable going with that sort of team. I still think that's good enough to beat them. What I like about that, you're resting Timber, you're resting Partey, you're resting Saka. I still think that's a good enough team to beat Atalanta. You've got two quick wingers, a lively striker, experienced midfield, Rice is back. I would probably go with something like that. Ideally, though, I would like to see Nwaneri play. And let's be real, Saka's playing. We said it all the time, people. If Saka can walk, he will start. He's playing. He's back in training today. He's not benching him. He will play Bukayo Saka on the right, in my opinion. He maybe won't get the full 90. I think Jesus deals with the Champions League well because it's a bit slower, a bit less physical. He's dangerous, gets a bit more time. Sky Touche said, Omri, Vieira, Bergkamp, Cole, everybody else. There's an argument. Saliba, Rice, Saka, Raya, Gabriel, Odegaard. 89 points. Will have beaten Fergie 5 times. Not better, but there's an argument. Well, if you're talking points, but not collective or individual quality, I don't think. But yeah, big up to you, bro. Skelly for Jorginho. I mean, listen, I don't mind some of these youngsters getting a chance. I'm just being honest and realistic. We all know that that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, is it? He won't do it. Curtis Mikel will go full strength, says Festus. I mean, I would be surprised if he did with City around the corner. I think he'll make 2 or 3 changes. 2 or 3. Not wholesale. Aziz said, would you buy a Pender if Gyokeres ain't available? But do you know the thing, Aziz? Gyokeres has a release clause. So there's no discussion about whether he is or isn't available. He is factually available at a certain price. You don't need to negotiate. You don't even need to talk to them. You turn up with a bag and you leave with the player. So, listen, Openda had a very good season last year, and he's a live wire as well. He's a bit different to anything we've got. But I just think we can get better. But he produced good numbers last year, very good numbers. 24 league goals last year. He's got 2 in 3 this year. Euros didn't go great for him. Belgium kind of use him out wide because obviously they love Lukaku through the middle. He got 4 Champions League goals, only 24. He's a good player. Openda, but he wouldn't be top on my list. But he's decent. I know Turkish rates him. But I think we can get better. Data said, Openda, not for me. Doesn't improve us on what we got. Hit and miss. Peter said that Gyokeres goal yesterday, get him in January. As I said, man, we got to get him. Robbo said, Big C on transfer market. They have Marino's return date as the 28th of October. I mean, after this next international breaks, I take it. I thought it might be November, so gone till November like Wycliffe Jean. 89 points is serious. I agree on that part. I mean, just think about that year. Liverpool got 97, and didn't win the title. Gambling said Gyokeres was impressive. King Rapid plays Zinchenko midfield this game. I don't think he will. But these games are a bit slower and more possession based. So there is an argument, but I just don't think he will. He just doesn't seem to trust him in midfield. In fact, yeah, I've gone mad. Zinchenko isn't in training. Yeah, he didn't return to training today, so he's not available. Calafiori is the only injured player that's returned today. So, no, Zinchenko won't be in the squad. Rory said, I'm done with projects by winners, 100%. And I just want to reiterate before I leave today's stream, Saliba has put out this comment in an interview today. And as I keep saying, and I've tweeted this and people don't like it, this is the warning sign. Saliba's quote from yesterday, I've worked hard to become the best defender in the world. I think I'm one of the best, but to say I'm the best, I have to win some titles. I think it's the thing that I've missed. If you win titles, then you can say you are the best. Arsenal. That is the warning sign. People can get annoyed when I say Arteta needs to win silverware. People can get annoyed about this, that, the other. We have got one of the best centre-backs in world football who is in his early 20s, who can help us build for a bright future. But if we are not winning silverware now, this season and beyond, we are going to run into problems. And like I said, it's not just Saliba going. He will open a can of worms if he leaves, because other good players will look and go, are we actually moving in the right direction if Saliba goes to Real Madrid? Does that make Saka think twice? Does that make Declan Rice, Odegaard, Gabriel and other players think, oh, I thought we were actually going to win major trophies. Now Saliba's gone. Deal with the problem before it happens, Arsenal. Don't sit on your hands thinking these meaty transfer windows are good enough. They're not. Go and get a striker in January. Go and buy Gyokeres. Go and give us that boost to get over the finish line. Stop leaving us short. Owen Hargreaves said it last night that Arsenal are 1 or 2 players short. The same thing that I've been saying. So this club has to show real ambition. Otherwise, it will fall apart. And that is because of the Kroenkes. It's as simple as that. So this is the warning shot. Don't let this be another Van Persie, Cesc Fabregas situation. Because I remember those guys saying things about not winning trophies and top four's not enough. And fans ignored it and then they left. And when they leave, guess what? Every fan says, oh, you're a snake, you're a snake. No, you're not, mate. You were ambitious. You gave Arsenal an opportunity to prove that they are a serious football club and they didn't prove it. People have to understand, when a footballer leaves a football club to improve his own career, he's not snaking you. He's looking after himself. And that's what footballers have to do. It's a short career. If a footballer starts playing badly, they get sold. Nobody complains about loyalty from the football club to the player. But when a player leaves a football club that aren't acting right, all of a sudden, that footballer is a snake. Now, don't get me wrong. Van Persie went to United. And damn, it hurt. Damn, it hurt. But the guy went there, won the title, won the Golden Boot. And got a Guard of Honour. So did we look more stupid or did he look more stupid? I don't want Arsenal to end up in this situation. We need to win. We need to, go for every trophy and let this guy feel winning in an Arsenal shirt. We can't keep finishing second and patting people on the back. That ain't going to work. Saliba giving Kendrick Lamar vibe. No big three, just big me. I mean, come on, man. I'm reading that as he's basically saying, I think I could be the best centre-back in the world. I just don't have the trophies that Van Dijk and them lot have got. So I can't say I'm better than them. He might think he's better than them. Alexis Sanchez, yeah, that was the more modern one that a lot of the fan base will be able to understand. Jorge said, trophies won't stop him going to Madrid. That knock is different. Do you know what it is, though? It delays it. It delays it, in my opinion. Like, sometimes you can't stop it. Cristiano Ronaldo won the Champions League, the Premier League. He won everything at Man United. He still ended up at Real Madrid. But when you're winning, it can at least slow it down. If he doesn't win this season, he might be like, that's it, I want to go in the summer. You win a trophy or two, he might think, I'm enjoying this, man. New deal on the table, 200 grand, just won the FA Cup, won the Premier League. I'm nice, I don't need to go anywhere for now. You can at least delay it and maybe get another 2 years, get him to sign another contract. So, yeah, maybe it's inevitable, but at least you can delay it. And we get a few more years out of him before we then let... So we'll see. You would have said Van Dijk would end up at Real Madrid, but he didn't. So you never know. Listen, people, big up to everyone locked in. The support is amazing. 2,200 people on a Wednesday when not that much is happening is just amazing support. Big up the Twitch gang as well. The whole C unit locked in, supporting. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. As I said, no press conference reaction, because Champions League press conference is in the evening. I think it's about 6 o'clock tonight. So we may do a 2 o'clock stream tomorrow, a bit shorter, and just do some press conference reaction. And then tomorrow, 8 p.m. kickoff, I'll be live at 7 p.m. UK time. Atalanta against Arsenal. And as I said, Calafiori is the only injured player that's returned. So it'll be interesting to see what team he puts out. And listen, like I said, because this is like a league now, rather than a group, we need to win. We need to win that first game. Our next game is PSG. This is a game that you've got to win. If you want to win the Champions League, you've got to go to Atalanta and beat them. They're mid-table. They've lost 2 of their first 4 games. So, there's no excuse. We've got to go there and get 3 points if we want to start showing what we're about in Europe. So I'm confident we can if he picks the right team. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Enjoy your Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.